हरिः ओम्। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य 52तमः पाठः। कप्रत्ययः तथा ण प्रत्ययः कर्त्रर्थे कथं प्रयुज्येते अस्मिन् विषये अद्य विस्तारेण पठामः। प्रारम्भे वन्दनम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य वर्गाणां प्रयोजनानि एतादृशानि। सिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य सर्वेषां सूत्राणां विस्तारेण अध्ययनं, यत्र आवश्यकं तत्र अन्येषां व्याख्यानानां साहाय्येन शास्त्राध्ययनं, सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः यथा योग्यं कृत्प्रत्यययोजनं, कृत्प्रत्यये परे रूपनिर्माणप्रक्रियायाः अभ्यासः, तथा च अष्टाध्याय्याः तृतीयाध्यायस्य कण्ठस्थीकरणम्। पूर्वेषु वर्गेषु अस्माभिः प्रकरणस्य प्रत्ययानाम् अध्ययनं समाप्तं। तदनन्तरं च द्वितीयं करपत्रं कृदन्तप्रकरणेन मूलादयः अस्य पत्रस्य अध्ययनम् आरब्धम्। तत्र प्रथमं सूत्रम् णवुल् तृचौ इत्यत्र द्वौ प्रत्ययौ उक्तौ स्तः, णवुल् तथा तृच्। एतयोः विषये विस्तारेण पूर्वेषु वर्गेषु अध्ययनं कृतम्। तदनन्तरं नन्दिग्रहिपचादिभ्यो ल्युणिन्यचः इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे त्रयः गणाः, प्रत्येकं गणम् अनुसृत्य एकः प्रत्ययः, अनेन प्रकारेण त्रयः प्रत्ययाः पाठिताः सन्ति। एतेषाम् अपि पूर्वेषु वर्गेषु अस्माभिः अध्ययनं कृतम्। इदानीम् अग्रे गच्छामः। अतः अग्रे किञ्चित् अवलोकनं क्रियते चेत् एतद् दृश्यते यत् क प्रत्ययः अस्ति, श प्रत्ययः अस्ति, अग्रे कुत्रचित् ण प्रत्ययः अस्ति, श्वुन् थकन् भिन्नाः भिन्नाः प्रत्ययाः अग्रे भिन्नैः सूत्रैः केवलं विशिष्टेभ्यः धातुभ्यः उच्यन्ते। अतः यथा पूर्वम् अस्माभिः दृष्टं णवुल् तृचौ इत्यत्र सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः णुल् प्रत्ययः तथा सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः तृच् प्रत्ययः भवति इति सामान्यविधानम् अग्रे गत्वा न कर्तुं शक्यते। प्रायः अग्रे गत्वा इतः अग्रे पाठिताः प्रायः सर्वे प्रत्ययाः केवलं क्त, क्तवतु, घ इत्येतेषाम् अपवादं विहाय प्रायः अन्ये सर्वे प्रत्ययाः विशिष्टेभ्यः धातुभ्यः एव भवितुम् अर्हन्ति। So there are only a handful of pratyas like twa, tumun, say lyapa, kta, ktavatu. Say 6, 7 pratyas are there which will be applicable to all the dhatus. Otherwise, all other pratyas are only applicable to a specific set of dhatus. It could be a small group of dhatus or it could be individual 1, 1, 2, 2 dhatus. So going ahead, the classes are going to be more concentrated on specific dhatus. We will be literally diving down in the dhatu patha to understand, to look at each individual dhatu and see a certain pratyaya being attached to it. That has its own challenges as against, saying that such and such pratyaya is directly applicable to all dhatus. अतः अद्यतनवर्गे अस्माभिः अत्र निर्दिष्टः क प्रत्ययः तथा च अग्रे अत्र निर्दिष्टः ण प्रत्ययः, एतयोः द्वयोः प्रत्ययोः विस्तारेण अध्ययनं करिष्यते. In today's class we will take a look at k and ण. In tomorrow's class we will take a look at sh pratyaya. I think sh pratyaya itself will take a full class tomorrow, and then probably if time permits then tomorrow, otherwise next week we will take a look at the rest of the shvun, thakan, nyut and other pratyayas. अतः अत्र कर्तृर्थे मूलादि प्रत्यययोजनम् एतैः सूत्रैः नो चेत् एते प्रत्ययाः तत्र सन्ति। तत्र णुल् तृच् ल्यु लृणि अच एतेषां सर्वेषाम् अध्ययनम् अस्माभिः कृतम्। अद्य अग्रे गत्वा क प्रत्ययः तथा च ण प्रत्ययः एतयोः अध्ययनम् अस्माभिः करिष्यते। So in today's class, I'm going to follow a slightly different method of discussing. Instead of directly jumping on the sutras, what I plan to do is take this pratyaya, say ka pratyaya, and explain where ka pratyaya is applied through a series of slides without really bothering with the sutras, so that we now understand, we then understand, or we'll be able to take a bigger picture of where ka pratyaya is applicable, where na pratyaya is applicable, and then we will jump to sutras and look at the individual sutras. We are going to do that because fortunately there is some kind of structure in the way ka or na pratyaya can be applied, so we can actually take help or take use of that particular structure. अतः प्रारभामहे. सर्वप्रथमं क प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनं कुर्मः. यथा उक्तं क प्रत्ययः कुत्र कुत्र विधीयते तत् सामान्य भाषायां प्रथमं ज्ञात्वा तदनन्तरं सूत्राणां साहाय्येन विशेषरूपेण अध्ययनं करिष्यामहे. So the first thing we need to remember, understand, इक् वर्णः इ उ रु यस्य उपधायां विद्यते इगुपधः धातुः, तस्मात् धातोः कर्त्रर्थे क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. सर्वे प्रत्ययाः कर्त्रर्थे एव भवन्ति, विशिष्टरूपेण यत्र उक्तं नास्ति तत्र. अतः अयं क प्रत्ययः अपि कर्त्रर्थे भवति. कीदृशः धातुः भवेत्? इगुपधः धातुः भवेत्. यस्य धातोः उपधायाम् इक् वर्णः विद्यते. लिख्, शीक्, बुध, कूज, कृश भिन्नानि उदाहरणानि दातुं शक्यन्ते. तत्र उपधायां ह्रस्व इकारः, दीर्घ इकारः, नो चेत् ह्रस्व उकारः, दीर्घ उकारः, ह्रस्व ऋकारः, नो चेत् दीर्घ ऋकारः, एते वर्णाः भवितुम् अर्हन्ति. इक् वर्णः यस्य उपधायां विद्यते तस्मात् धातोः कर्तृर्थे क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. क प्रत्ययः कित् अस्ति, अतः तत्र गुणः वृद्धिः च निषिध्यते. अतः लिख प्लस क, इट्स अ सिंपल वर्णमेलनं लिख. शीक प्लस क शीक, बुध प्लस क बुध, and so on. You can use the filters on the website. The approximate count over here is some 600 dhatus, plus or minus, give and take some. So for these 600 dhatus, more or less, we get a ka pratyaya in the kartrartha sense. Kartrarthe. So basically, likhati saha likhaha. The one who writes, the lekhaka himself, will be called likhaha. Kujati saha kujaha. The one who sings is called kujaha. So this is how these words are to be used. Now, obviously, having said that, this kartrathe ka pratyaya etebhya sarvebhya dhatubhya vidhiyate, we have to resort to shishta prayoga. Shishta prayoga manusrutya eva atra prayogaha karaniyah. अतः प्रक्रियायां यद्यपि सर्वे अत्र इगुपध धातवः क प्रत्ययं स्वीकुर्वन्ति इति लिखितमस्ति, तथापि शिष्टप्रयोगम् अनुसृत्य एव अस्य एतेषां शब्दानां प्रयोगः करणीयः. The most important, or one of the most important point to remember अस्मिन् सन्दर्भे, एतेभ्यः धातुभ्यः वुल् तृच् प्रत्ययः अपि अवश्यं भवतः. कर्तृर्थे क प्रत्ययः भवति, अस्य आशयः वुल् न भवति, तृच् न भवति इति न. So this is obvious at this stage now. We have a vasarupa vidhi going on. So vul truch both are asarupa pratyayaha, asarupa apavadaha utsargam vikalpenaiva badhante. अतः अत्र णवुल् तृच् एतौ अपि प्रत्ययो भवतः. So लिख प्लस णवुल लेखक इति अवश्यं भवितुम् अर्हति. Similarly, लिख प्लस क लिख इति अपि अवश्यं भवितुम् अर्हति. लिख प्लस तृच् लेखिता इति अपि भवितुम् अर्हति. एतानि सर्वाणि रूपाणि भवितुम् अर्हन्ति. What these verbs will not get is the ach pratyaya. So यद्यपि सर्वधातुभ्यः अच् विधिः इति उच्यते, तथापि सर्वधातुभ्यः अच् विधिः इति उत्सर्गः इगुपधधातुभ्यः क प्रत्ययः इति अपवादः. So now we have an upsarga apavada relationship between the acha pratyaya and the ka pratyaya. अत्र वस्तुतः क इति प्रत्ययः अपवादः, अच इति प्रत्ययः उत्सर्गः. अतः वासरूपविधिना अत्र अच् प्रत्ययस्य संपूर्णरूपेण निषेधं कृत्वा क प्रत्ययः भवति. अतः यद्यपि सर्वधातुभ्यः अज् विधिः भवितुम् अर्हति, तथापि एतेभ्यः धातुभ्यः अच् प्रत्ययः न भवति, तस्य सारूप्यत्वात्. So exactly for the same reason why Bul and Truch are there, for the same reason Ach will get blocked. It is a Sarupa Pratyaya with respect to the Ka Pratyaya. The only exception for this is the set of Igupada dhatus that are specifically present in the Pachadi Gana. Pachadi Ganam Pashamashe Tatra Kechana Igupada Dhatavaha Vishishtarupeण Nirdishtaha Santi. Tarhi यदि सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः अच् विधि भवति इति वदामः चेत् तत्र एतेषां धातूनां पचादिगणे स्थापनस्य किं प्रयोजनम् इति वदामश्चेत् एतदुत्तरम्। ये इगुपदधातवः पचादिगणे निर्दिष्टाः सन्ति तेभ्यः निर्देशसामर्थ्यात् अच् प्रत्ययः भवति. We will not get the ka pratyaya for these dhatus even though these dhatus are igupada dhatus. Why? Because they are present explicitly in the Pachadi Gana. So understand how the Badhya Badhaka Bhava operates. Prarambhe Sarvadhatubhyaha Ajvidhi Tam Badhitva Igupad Dhatubhyaha Ka Pratyayah Tad Badhitva Pachadi Gane Vishishta Rupena Ye Igupad Dhatavaha Santi Tebhyaha Acheva Pratyayah. Ataha Muda Vastutaha Igupadha Asti Parantu Muda plus Acha will give Moda or Div plus Acha will give Deva and so on. So Ye Igupada Dhatavaha Pachadi Gane Santi Tebhyaha Ka Pratyayam Badhitva Ach Pratyayah. Now remember, Pachadi Gana is Akriti Gana. We have discussed this earlier. The purpose of calling Pachadi Gana as Akriti Gana is that there are some verbs, specifically the Igupada verbs, which are not technically in the Pachadi Gana. So they should not get Ach Pratyaya, they should get Ka Pratyaya. But somehow they happen to get Ach Pratyaya based on the Shishta Prayoga. So we see the Shishta Prayoga that this Dhatu gets an Acha Pratyaya. This dhatu is igupadha. So we get a question in the mind. Ayam dhatu igupadha asti. Sarva dhatubhyah achvidhi ityanena asmat dhato ach pratyye prapte igupadha jnapri kirakkaha. No chet atra yat sutram asmabhi agre patishyate. Anena sutrena atra ka iti pratyayah vidhiyate. Tarhi atra asmat dhatoh ach pratyayah katham pathitah katham vihitah iti prashnaha. So then we have to explicitly, forcefully add that dhatu in the Pachadi Gana thanks to the Akriti Ganatva of the Pachadi Gana. So Kebhyachana Dhatubhyaha Shishta Prayogam Anusrutya Ach Pratyayah eva ishyate ka pratyayah na etadrishaha dhatavaha Pachadi Ganasya Akriti Ganatvam matva Akriti Ganatvam svikritya tatraiva pathyante. So Siva is an example. You don't see the Siva verb in the Pachadi Gana as the standard list of the Gana is there. Maybe some people have already added it separately, but as a standard list of the Gana, you don't see these dhatus. परंतु अस्मात् धातोः शिष्टैः अच् प्रत्ययं कृत्वा एव रूपं प्रयुक्तं दृश्यते. अतः अत्र पचादिगणः आकृतिगणः अस्ति इति मत्वा सिव धातुं तत्र पचादिगणे स्थाप्यते स्थापयामः. अनेन क प्रत्ययं बाधित्वा सिव धातोः अच् प्रत्ययः एव भवति. So this is the basic summary of the ka pratyay. We have 3-4 more slides. Parantu atra kim ज्ञातव्यम यः धातुः इगुपधः अस्ति यस्मात् यस्य धातोः उपधायाम् इक् वर्णः विद्यते तस्य धातोः विषये क इति प्रत्ययः विधीयते. And then there are a few apavadas. We will study them going ahead. So I'm just, for the sake of completion, I'm noting it on the slide. We don't have to remember anything right now. So there are a set of very specific dhatus. Liha is there, Shlisha is there, Lipa is there, Vida is there, Drusha is there. So all these are Igupadha dhatus. Parantu etesham vishaye अत्र यः क प्रत्ययः उक्तः अस्ति तं बाधित्वा कश्चन अन्यः एव प्रत्ययः विधीयते. So basically that's a set of exceptions. So this is the first important bucket of the ka pratyaya. The ka pratyaya is added to the igupadha dhatus. The second bucket of the ka pratyaya is the akaranta dhatus that have an upasarga. Akaranta dhatavaha yada upasargena sah prayujyante tada ka pratyaya bhavati. पूर्वम इगुपद धातवः येषां विषये अस्माभिः अध्ययनं कृतं तत्र उपसर्गः भवेत् उत न भवेत् तस्मिन् विषये चिन्तनमेव न करणीयम्. So whether you have upasarga or you don't have the upasarga, igupada dhatus will get a ka pratyaya. परंतु अत्र किमस्ति आकारान्त धातूनां विषये तत्र एक्स्ट्रा कंडीशन अपि विद्यते. आकारान्त धातवः उपसर्गेण सह यदा प्रयुज्यन्ते तदा क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. प्रतिष्ठते इति प्र प्लस स्था प्लस इदानीम् आकारान्त धातुः अस्ति उपसर्गेण सह प्रयुज्यते अतः तस्मात् क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. प्र प्लस स्था प्लस क. We will see the prakriya later on. I think most of you already know it. Ato lopa iti cha iti akarasya lopaha bhavati. Prastha iti rupam siddhyati. We have actually studied this earlier. Suglayati. Another example. Su plus glai. आदेशोपदेशेषिति इति प्रारंभे ग्लै इत्यस्य आकारादेशः ग्ला. सु प्लस ग्ला आकारान्त धातुः अस्ति उपसर्गेण सह प्रयुज्यते तत्र क इति प्रत्ययः सुग्ल. Approximately some 65-70 dhatus are there. You can use the filter to get the number. So all these dhatus will get the ka pratyaya when an upasarga is present. Akaranta dhatavah yada upasargena sah prayujyate tada tebhyah ka iti pratyayah bhavati. Same thing as we discussed on the previous slide. When it comes to the badhya badhaka bhava, णवुल pratyayah bhavati, truch pratyayah bhavati, ach pratyayah na bhavati. Because again, ach and ka are sarupa, whereas णवुल or truch and ka are asarupa. So ach bhavat, ach na bhavati, णवुल तथा truch dvavapi bhavatah. Again, there is a small set of apavadas. We will go ahead and learn about these in details. So pa asti, ghra asti, dhma asti. These are the three dhatus. For these, whether it is upasarga or anupasarga, you get a sha pratyaya. So this ka does not come. We get a sha pratyaya. Still a few more apavadas there are there. I'll discuss in details. अतः अत्र बिंदु द्वयम् विशिष्ट रूपेण किं स्मरणे स्थापनीयम्. इगुपधा धातु अस्ति चेत् उपसर्गस्य विषये अपि उपसर्गं विना अपि तत्र क प्रत्ययः भवति. आकारान्त धातुः अस्ति चेत् उपसर्गेण सह सह धातु यदा प्रयुज्यते तदा क प्रत्ययः भवति. These are the two most important conditions for the ka pratyaya. And then there is one more slide in details where we will have individual dhatus listed down where ka pratyaya is particularly applicable. So if you understand these two blank major buckets, then like 99% of the stuff is done. And then there are a handful of like 4 or 5 dhatus are there which are individually being picked up. So dnya iti dhatu asti, akarantah eva asti, pri iti dhatu asti, kr dirghakaraha iti dhatu asti. So I have written the ganas and the meanings are all there on the slides. It will be useful for you in your studies later on. So dnya avabodhane, pri tarpane, kru vikshepe etebhya dhatubhyah anupasarge api kartrarthe ka pratyayah bhavati. So this api is basically for this dnya actually. On the previous slide, we say that akaranta dhatu upasargena sah prayujyate chet ka pratyayah. But for dnya, anupasarge api kartararthe ka pratyayah bhavati. And pri and kru, upasarge, anupasarge both. So anupasarge api kartararthe ka pratyayah bhavati. So important note is, unless we make a distinction of upasarge versus anupasarge, you can include both. I mean, we have to assume both. If Panini explicitly wants anupasarge, he will say anupasarge. If he explicitly wants upasarge, he will say upasarge. If it doesn't say anything, it's basically both anupasarge as well as upasarge. So dnya, pri, kru, etesham sarvesham vishaye anupasarge upasarge sarvatra ka iti pratyayah bhavati. So dnya plus ka becomes dnya. So dnya janati sahadnyaha. We say sudnyaha or we say adnyaha. Na janati iti na dnyaha iti adnyaha iti rupam prayujyate. So dnya janati iti dnyaha. Priya, yet another very well known word. Prinati, the one who loves. Prinati iti priyaha. Kru plus ka, kira. So the one who throws, the kiraha, and so on. These are the well-known words that get generated over here. We'll take a look at the prakriya on the next slide. So this is one basic set of exceptions. Like Exceptions in the sense and additional points that we have to understand. ज्ञा, प्री, कृ एतेभ्यः धातुभ्यः अनुपसर्गे अपि कर्तृर्थे क प्रत्ययः भवति. ग्रह उपादाने गृह्णाति इति रूपमस्ति. नवमगणस्य वेल नोन धातुः अस्ति. ग्रह उपादाने अस्मात् धातोः गेहः नो चेत् निवासः इत्यस्य निर्देशं कर्तुं क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. So this is the second important special case that we have to understand. Eventually, the well-known word called gruha. Gruha means house or home, the place where one stays. So that particular word is being derived over here. Griha upagraha upadane अस्मात् धातोः गेहः नो चेत् निवासः इत्यस्य निर्देशं कर्तुं क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. So गृह्णाति धान्यादिकं तद् गृहम्. So गृह, a very well known word which means house. अस्य व्युत्पत्तिः कथं दीयते? गृह्णाति तद् गृहम्. The underlying meaning is this: we purchase various things. We purchase furniture, we purchase clothes, we purchase, say, utensils, we purchase food items, vegetables, whatever, grains and all that, and we store them at house. We don't take them everywhere where we go. So whenever we go out, we don't take all these things along with us. We only take the bare minimum essential luggage, even if we are going on a long trip and we go, and all these things are kept back at the house. So grunhati vastuni accepts all of your property, all of your object, and saves it or stores it properly. That is how the word gruha is generated. Grinhati dhanyadikam means all the objects that belong to you. These are not the type of objects that you don't carry everywhere. You just keep them at one place and go wherever you want. So grinhati dhanyadikam tad griham. ग्रह धातुः ग्रह उपादाने क प्रत्ययः अस्ति. संप्रसारणं भवति. पश्यामः. It will give गृह. So grah plus ka is equal to gruha. So a very well known word, always in the napumsakalinga. We don't say grihaha, we say griham. Always in the napumsakalinga. Grinhati dhanyadikam tat griham. Very interestingly, there is yet another word called griha, which is also in the pullinga, which is used only in the bahuvachanam. Understand this carefully. We don't say grihaha, we say gruhaha, or we say grihan. So there is yet another griha word which is used completely in the pullinga bahuvachana. The meaning of that word is wife. पत्नी इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे गृहाः इति शब्दः पुल्लिङ्गे नित्यं बहुवचने प्रयुज्यते. So that particular word grihaha is also derived by adding the ka pratyaya to the same griha dhatu right in the same sutram. So grinhanti dayitvam sarvam te grihaha. Usually, at least in those days, the norm was that the husband of the house will go earn the money and will hand over the money to, or will give the money to wife, and she will be responsible for running the entire house or managing the finance of the house. So grunhamti daitvam sarvam, the entire responsibility of the house of running the daily engagement of the house is with the wife. So grunhamti daitvam sarvam te gruhaha. See how the prayoga is there. Te gruhaha. No chet te daraha. The word dara or word gruha are both pullinga nitya bahuvachana words indicating or representing patni. So गृह्णन्ति दायित्वं सर्वं ते गृहाः ते दाराः पत्नी इति अत्र आशयः. नित्यं पुल्लिंग बहुवचने प्रयुज्यते अयं शब्दः. So this is how, so the same thing, gruha word, the derivation is same, graha plus ka. The pradhana meaning, the primary meaning over here is grunhati dhanyatikam tad graham, and the secondary meaning over here is the derivation that is given grunhamti daitvam sarvam te grihaha iti koshe dattam asti. So these are the basically three important aspects where the ka pratyaya is to be used. The igupadha dhatus first, the akaranta dhatus with the upasargas second, and a very particular set of dhatus, dnya, pri, kru, graha. These specific dhatus, we get a ka pratyaya. Now there are a bunch of questions over here. Give me 1 minute. I'll just take a quick look at these. I don't want to address things that are not directly related because there's a lot of material that you want to cover. Somebody's asking, how is gruham only in the Napumsakalinga? That's how the language is. Gruham word is used in the Napumsakalinga to indicate the uh, house. We'll see that in the commentary. So when we look at the sutra, this question will be answered. What about the word grah indicating the planet? Yes, there will be a sutra. We will talk about it at the end of the class today. Somebody is saying, how is it that gruhaha a pullinga word? So the word gruhaha is pullinga as per how the language is. So the linga of the word, see this, I mean, I don't want to venture into the details of this, but the linga of the object and the linga of the word are completely different entities, and one shouldn't ever confuse between the two. So we are not talking about the physical gender of the object that it represents. I mean, like inanimate objects don't even have genders, but still we have the words representing these objects into certain genders. So shabdanam lingam is a completely different aspect and not to be confused with what is the gender of that underlying entity which the word represents. So talking specifically for wife, we have word in all the three lingas. So we have patni, which is in the feminine. We have kalatram, which is in the napumsakalinga. We have daraha or gruhaha, it is in the pullinga. It is the gender associated with the word that points to an entity in the real life, and a person, a living entity in the real life. Do not confuse between the genders of the two. Mitram, for example, is napumsakalinga, which represents a friend. So genders of the word is a completely different discussion. We will not venture into it right now. How to differentiate a word with ach pratyaya and ka pratyaya? That's another question over here. It's actually simple, because the word with the ka pratyaya, you will see a guna is not happening. A word with an ach pratyaya, you will have a guna happening. So for example, igupadha shabdaha asti atra पूर्वं गच्छामः शिव प्लस अच् इति अस्ति, तर्हि अत्र क प्रत्ययः अभविष्यत् चेत् शिव प्लस क will give you शिव, upadha guna will not happen. But because there is a seva, upadha guna has happened, so definitely it is an ach pratyaya. So just by looking at whether the guna has happened or not, you should be able to discuss. For cases where the guna will not happen, for example nada and other words, you have to understand, like you know that for nada it's only the acha pratyaya that gets applicable, and that is applicable and not ka. So you also need to know what pratyaya is applicable for what different dhatus. So what is tarpane is a question. I think tarpana is some vidhi is one of the religious vidhis. I think priya also has multiple meanings. For example, priyanane is also another vidhi, another meaning which I actually gave an example of. So to love is another meaning. Tarpane is also yet another meaning. Tarpana is some religious activity, like offering something to rishis or to pitaras. That's, I think, called tarpana. There are a bunch more like 20 around questions are there. Let me just take a quick look at it. Somebody is asking, is the visarga always there? When do we add visarga? So I think the question is not clear to me. If you can type it, like where, what you're exactly talking about, we can discuss. So Navagraha, yes, Navagraha is very similar to Graha, which is basically planet. We will talk about, somebody's asking what is Navagraha about. We'll talk about it towards the end of today's class. Oh, somebody. Oh, okay, so the very apt observation. So they are saying likha plus ka, there is no visarga over here, but shika plus ka, there is a visarga over here, and kuja plus ka, there is a visarga over here. Sorry, that's my bad. It's a typing mistake on my part. You can follow one thing and be consistent with it. So you can say likha plus ka, likha, shika plus ka, shika, buddha plus ka, buddha, and say we are showing the pratipadikam, or you add a visarga to it and say you are showing subantam. So ubhayatha tatra sadhutvam asti. Sadhutvam ityukte, you can say that I would like to show the pratipadika generation of the krudanta and say likha plus ka is equal to likha, or shika plus ka is equal to shika, or buddha plus ka is equal to buddha. Or you say I would like to show a pada, so su pratyaya is added on the top and say likhaha, shikaha, buddhaha, and so on. So if a sup pratyaya is added, a visarga will come. A sup pratyaya is not added, visarga will not come. I should have been consistent over here. Nothing wrong. I mean, this is also correct. The like shika plus ka is equal to shika ha is also correct. A sup pratyaya is there in your brain, which is not just shown physically. And likha plus ka is equal to likha is also correct, is basically only showing the krudanta. It's a matter of consistency that somebody is pointing out, and I agree to it. It should be consistent across whatever you write. Somebody is asking, what about napumsakalinga? Same. So, for example, likha plus ka can be called likhaha. It can also be called likham if you want to use that word in the napumsakalinga. And in order to avoid these kind of additional questions, I usually in my PPTs I prefer having a standalone pratipadika. I don't know somehow how I added visarga in all these cases. If you look a little bit below, say muda plus acha moda, diva plus acha deva, I usually prefer just keeping the pratipadika. This must be a typing mistake where I added a visarga. I'll just get rid of it at some point in time. Astu, agre gacchamaha. So let's take a quick look at the prakriya for the ka pratyaya. I think most of the questions are answered. The ones that I missed, I think I'll address it in today's class. Going ahead. So prakriya visheshaha, ka pratyaya is ardhadhatuka pratyaya, ajadi pratyaya, kit pratyaya asti, kakarasya samnya bhavati, lopaha bhavati, a iti avashishyate. Now we know what it means to be a kit pratyaya. I'm not going to repeat the same thing again and again. So kitvad gunavruddhi nishedha bhavati, samprasaranam bhavitum arhati. So grahijya vyai ityanena samprasaranam bhavati. Graha ityasya vishaye tasya prayogah kritah drishyate. So graha plus ka will become gruha. There is this first word grahijya vaivyadhi. Samprasaranam is happening. As soon as the gunavruddhi nishedha happens, other karyas will kick in. So achishnu dhatu bhruvam. I think all of you are now completely aware of all these. Like we are repeating it again and again throughout last multiple classes. So pri plus ka, as soon as the guna nishedha happens, achishnu dhatu bhruvam ityanena iyang adeshah bhavati priyang. So prinati iti priyaha. Hruta idhatoho. So dirgha rukarantasya dhatoho angasya ikaradeshah bhavati. So this has nothing to do with a kit pratyaya specifically. Like for example, samprasaranam has to do with a kit or a nit pratyaya. But this achishnu dhatu bhruvam or rudhait dhatoho, they don't have anything to do with the kit pratyaya. तत्र केवलं सार्वधातुकार्धधातुकयोः इत्यनेन गुणः निषिध्यते चेदेव एतयोः प्रसक्तिः अस्ति. अतः अत्र कित् प्रत्ययस्य विषये गुणस्य बाधा भवति चेत् एतेषां चर्चा क्रियते. सो दीर्घऋकारान्त धातु अस्ति, इकारादेशः भवति. सो कृ प्लस क becomes किर and so on. आतो लोप इति च, another example that we saw. आकारान्तः धातुः अस्ति, आकारान्तम् अङ्गम् अस्ति चेत् तस्य अन्तिमवर्णस्य लोपः भवति. सो प्र प्लस था प्लस क, रिमेम्बर आकारान्त धातुः अस्ति, उपसर्गस्य उपस्थितौ तत्र क इति प्रत्ययः विधीयते. प्र प्लस था प्लस क प्रस्थ, ज्ञा प्लस क ज्ञ, ग्ला प्लस क ग्ल. सो सु प्लस ग्लै, सुग्लाक, सुग्ल. This should be, it should be pra plus jna plus ka. No, for jna it's upasarge and anupasarge here. So jna इत्यस्मात् धातोः अनुपसर्गे अपि कर्तृर्थे क प्रत्ययः भवति. That's the example that is there on the last line. So ज्ञा plus ka ज्ञ, and then su plus glai, su plus gla gives sugla. So there is nothing more to it, primarily because ka pratyay is not applicable to all dhatus. It is applicable only to a specific set of dhatus. All igupada dhatus will fall under one bucket of kitvad gunavruddhi nishedha. All akaranta dhatus will fall under one bucket of ato lopa iti cha. and so on. One additional sutra is there for pre achishnu dhatu bhruvam. One additional sutra is there for kru rudait dhatu. So that pre and kru are the special cases. This pre requires achishnu dhatu bhruvam. This kru requires rudait dhatu, and the rest are basically the guna vriddhi nishedha and akarasya lopa. This is actually simple. There is nothing more to it. So let's go now directly to the sutras. We have understood the exact set where the ka pratyay is applicable. Now the understanding, the analysis of the sutras should be pretty fast. Let's take a look at the list of sutras first. So look at where ka is there. Igupadha jna pri kirakkaha. So that's the igupadha dhatu and the three special cases, jna, pri and kru. So we studied that. आतश्चोपसर्गे सोपसर्गः आकारांत धातु, immediately next sutra. So we took a look at that. So that's the second, and all the way at the bottom over here, gehe kaha. So that's the graha dhatu for generation of the word gruham. So that's the third sutra that we took a look at it in details. So now that we know the exact meanings of all the sutras, the reading the commentaries will be extremely simple. To start with, we have Igupada Jna Pri Kirakkaha. Yatra आवश्यकं तत्रैव स्पष्टीकरणं दास्यामि, नो चेत् केवलं व्याख्यानं पठित्वा अग्रे गच्छामः. इगुपदेभ्यः जानातेः प्रीणातेः किरतेः च क प्रत्ययः भवति. एकस्मिन् सूत्रे एव आचार्येण तत्र सर्वेषां समावेशः कृतः. इगुपधः, तदनन्तरं ज्ञा, प्री and कृ. इगुपधज्ञा प्रीकिरक्कः. उदाहरणानि विक्षिपः, विलिखः, बुधः, कृशः. अत्र इगुपध धातूनाम् उदाहरणानि दत्तानि सन्ति. कानिचन उदाहरणानि उपसर्गेण सह दीयन्ते, कानिचन उदाहरणानि उपसर्गं विना दीयन्ते. उभयथा अत्र क प्रत्ययः भवति इति अत्र सः स्पष्टीकर्तुम् इच्छति. तदनन्तरं ज्ञा इत्यस्य उदाहरणं जानाति इति ज्ञः, प्री इत्यस्य उदाहरणं प्रीणाति इति प्रियः, कृ इत्यस्य उदाहरणं किरति इति किरः. तदनन्तरं सः वदति देवसेवमेषादयः पचादौ पठितव्याः. कः अर्थः? केचन इगुपध धातवः अच् प्रत्ययमेव स्वीकुर्वन्ति. यद्यपि अत्र अस्मिन् सूत्रे इगुपधम् इति उच्यते, तथापि केचन इगुपध धातवः अच् प्रत्ययं स्वीकुर्वन्ति. एतादृशाः धातवः पचादिगणस्य आकृतित्वस्य आधारेण पचादिगणे स्थापनीयाः. केचन तु पचादिगणे सन्ति एव, यथा दिव इति धातुः, नो चेत् मिष इति धातुः पचादिगणे एव विद्यते. अतः तत्र पचादिगणे सः विद्यते इति कारणात् तत्र क प्रत्ययः न भवति. केचन अन्ये धातवः यथा शिव इति धातुः अस्ति, पचादिगणस्य आकृतित्वात् सः तत्र स्थापनीयः. सो देवसेवमेषादयः पचादौ पठितव्यः इत्यनेन यत्र आवश्यकं शिष्टप्रयोगम् अनुसृत्य यत्र अच् प्रत्ययः इष्यते ते धातवः पचादिगणे स्थाप्यन्ते. कौमुदीकारः किं वदति? एभ्यः कः स्यात्? क्षिपः, लिखः, बुधः, कृशः, ज्ञः, प्रीणातीति प्रियः, किरतीति किरः, वासरूपविधिना णुवुल् अपि. यत्र वासरूपविधि यत्र प्रयुज्यते अच् प्रत्ययः न भवति, परन्तु णुवुल् तृचौ द्वावपि प्रत्ययौ भवतः. क्षेपकः, क्षेप्ता and so on. Somebody is saying this is not spelled out by the sutra. What is not explained by the sutra? I mean, the sutra is very clear. It's igupada dhatu, it is jna, pri and kru. If the sutra does not say upasarga or anupasarga, then it is both upasarga and anupasarga. Okay, the comment is that this part deva seva meshadayaha pachadau pachitavyaha is not in the sutra. You don't need it in the sutra. It's an explanation in the commentary. So what the Kashikakara is saying is इगुपधज्ञा प्रीकिरक्कः इत्यनेन दिवधातु, शिवधातु, मिषधातु एतेषां विषये कप् प्रत्यये प्राप्ते वस्तुतस्तु अच् प्रत्ययः भवति इति सः अत्र स्पष्टीकरोति. किमर्थम् अच् प्रत्ययः भवति इति चेत् एते सर्वे पचादौ विद्यन्ते इति अत्र उत्तरम्. अतः एते सर्वे विषयाः सूत्रे तु नैव भवेयुः. सूत्रं तु अल्पाक्षरमेव भवेत्. अतः तत्र इगुपदज्ञा प्रीकिरक्कः इत्येव वरम्. These all is basically additional explanation. It should be so basically he is saying it's evident that all these must be in the Pachadigana because the prayogas have ach pratyaya in them, deva, seva, mesha, and so on. इगुपधज्ञा प्रीकिरक्कः अग्रिमं सूत्रम् आतश्चोपसर्गे. So आतश्चोपसर्गे सरलं सूत्रम 1 minute. आकारान्तेभ्यः धातुभ्यः उपसर्गे उपपदे क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. यथा पूर्वमेव अस्माभिः दृष्टम्. किं वदति णस्य अपवादः. कः अर्थः. अग्रे गत्वा पाणिनिना किं वक्ष्यते. अग्रे गत्वा महर्षिः वदति सर्वेभ्यः आकारान्तधातुभ्यः ण इति प्रत्ययः भवति. So just like the way earlier he said सर्वेभ्यः इगुपधधातुभ्यः क इति प्रत्ययः भवति, अग्रे गत्वा सः वदति सर्वेभ्यः आकारान्तधातुभ्यः ण प्रत्ययः भवति. So the knowledge that we get over there is if it is akaranta dhatu, we will get an a. And now we come back over here and we say, hold on, there is an exception. If that akaranta dhatu is with the upasarga, then instead of an a, we will get a ka. So akarantebhya dhatubhya agre vakshamanena shad vyadhasrusravati navasa vavruliha shlishasvasascha इत्यनेन सूत्रेण यहाँ न प्रत्ययः वक्ष्यते सः उत्सर्गः परन्तु उपसर्गः तत्र उपपदरूपेण आगच्छति चेत् तस्य अपवादरूपेण क प्रत्ययः विधीयते. So for akaranta dhatus we have an a pratyaya as utsarga and ka pratyaya as apavada only when the upasarga is present. आकारान्तेभ्यः धातुभ्यः उपसर्गे उपपदे क प्रत्ययः भवति. णस्य अपवादः प्रस्थ सुग्ल सुम्ल इति उदाहरणानि दत्तानि सन्ति. कौमुदिकारः कः स्यात् स्याद्व्यधा स्रवति वः णवसा वव्रुलिः श्लेषस्वसश्च इत्यस्य णस्य अपवादः सुग्लः प्रज्ञः and so on. There is a separate Vartika, but I'll skip it for now because this Vartika is more intense than what is written over here. We will probably take like half an hour, 40 minutes next week for explaining this Vartika. I'll just quickly read it and we will go without discussing more. कविधौ सर्वत्र संप्रसारणेभ्यो डः इति किंचन वार्तिकम् अग्रे 3.2 इत्यत्र पठ्यते. So just to give a perspective, we are still at 3.1 point some 35-36. If you go to the next set, anadayah, we have 3.2 atonupasarge kaha. There is some vartika present over there. That vartika talks about the ka pratyaya. So basically Kaumudi puts it in over here. So Kaumudikara puts it in this sutra. It is because it is used in the context of the ka pratyaya. So he says ka vidhau sarvatra samprasaranibhyo da pratyaya. If a dhatu is a samprasarani dhatu like bhenya इति संप्रसारणी अस्ति. भ इति तत्र यजादिगणे धातु विद्यते वचिस्वपि यजादीनां किति इति संप्रसारणं भवति. सो संप्रसारणी धातु अस्ति चेत् क इत्यस्य स्थाने ड इति प्रत्ययः भवेत् इति सः अत्र वदति. We will take a look at it in details when we talk about the 3.2.3 about this Vartika. The next sutra, Gehe Kaha. This is about that particular Gruha. So if you look at, let's go back and make sure that we have covered everything. So we have this first slide. This is Igupadha Jnapri Kirakkaha. So that's the sutram. Igupadha is captured over here and Jnapri Kira from the next slide is captured. And this is Atashchopa Sarge. So that's the next sutra that captures this part. The only thing that is remaining now is this Graha Dhatu, which is captured by Gehe Kaha. So we have the next one, Gehe Kaha. Graha Dhatoho Ka Pratyah Bhavati Gehe Kartari. So Gruha ityasya nirdeshartham Graha Dhatoho Ka iti Pratyah Bhavati. Gruha iti shabdasya siddhyartham. Gruham Veshma, residence. And that's how the word is generated. तास्थ्या दाराश्च तत्र तिष्ठन्ति तत्र सन्ति इति अर्थं स्वीकृत्य दाराः इत्युक्ते पत्न्यः नो चेत् पत्नी इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे अपि गृह इति पुल्लिङ्गे शब्दः भवति. सो गृह्णन्ति इति गृहाः दाराः गृहाणि वेश्मानि. So he makes it clear The word for wife is in the pullinga, grinhanti bahuvachana, grinhanti iti grihaha daraha, and gruhani veshmani. Veshma is nakaranta shabda, napumsakalinga shabda, means a house or a residence. That's gruham. Somebody is saying, how does gruha become geha? It does not become geha, it is a synonym. So he's saying geha means house. The meaning of this sutra is for representing house, for representing the concept of house, the ka pratyaya is attached. Attached to whom? Attached to the graha dhatu, which is not in this sutra at all. So if you go to the list of sutras, let me show you this. Ge he kaha. This is the sutram that we are discussing. The gruha dhatu is coming from the previous sutra as the anuvritti. Vibhasha graha इत्यस्मात् ग्रह इत्यस्य अनुवृत्ति रूपेण अत्र अग्रे स्वीकारः क्रियते. सो गृह धातोः क प्रत्ययः भवति गेहे अभिधेये. यत्र गेह इति अर्थः अपेक्षते तत्र गृह धातोः, which is coming as an अनुवृत्ति from विभाषा ग्रहः, गृह धातोः क इति प्रत्ययः भवति. सो ग्रहेर् धातोः क प्रत्ययः भवति गेहे कर्तरि. कर्तरर्थे प्रत्ययविधानम्. इदं प्रत्ययविधानम्. गृहं वेश्म. So that's one meaning. And तास्थ्यात् दाराश्च. गृहे सन्ति नो चेत् गृह्णन्ति इति दाराः पत्नी iti api tatra artha. So both these words are being derived over here. Kaumudi says gehe kartari grahehe kaha syat grunhati dhanyadikam iti gruham tasthyad grihaha daraha. He's actually giving another derivation or another way to justify the word griha for patni. Tasthyad grihaha. Again, in the older days, don't compare it with the modern word, but in those days the general norm was that the husband will go out for the work and the wife will take care of the house sitting at home. So tasthyat grihaha tatraiva tishtati गृहे सा तिष्ठति अतः तस्याः नाम अपि गृहाः इति दीयते. So this is actually abhedopachara. You are naming a person based on the entity associated with it. So gruhe tishtati sa nataha api nate api gruhaha. So sa patni gruhaha namna jnayate. So it is basically saying that just like the way, for example, how you describe if you want to describe a particular king, very sure, very brave king, you say lion is coming. Eshaha sihaha agachati. So it's actually not the physical siha that you're talking about. You're doing some kind of superimposition. Some lakshartha is being indicated over there. That's exactly what is happening over here. Gruha, the meaning of the gruha has been superimposed with the person who is associated, always associated with that particular gruha. More interesting discussion comes up in this Tattva Bodhini. Let's take a look at this particular part. I'll skip this first line. I'll come to it a little later on. But we are in the context of the second line. So let's take this second line. Tasthyaditi. So what is the meaning of Tasthyad? Gruha is one entity which means house. And now the person who is staying inside house is also being referenced with the same word. So he is trying to explain the logic behind this. Tasthyaditi. He says, Bhavatihi tasthyatat shabdyam. So this concept of assigning a word based on an association is not a new thing, is what he is saying. Bhavatihi tasthyatat shabdyam. You have one entity and you refer by the name of that entity, you refer to somebody who is occupying that entity. That's exactly what is happening. Gruha, the pradhana meaning, the primary meaning will be the physical residence, but wife always stays over there. Again, don't compare the modern days. We are talking in the context of when the commentary was written. You have to understand that. So in those days, the wife, her main responsibility was to take care of the house. So she used to stay in the house. Now this is called tasthya, tatra tishtati. Using that particular relationship, the new word dara, grihaha, is now used also to indicate the person, the wife. And he says this is not a new thing. We are not doing something completely magical. This happens in our day to day conversations. So, for example, if you go to a conference, you say the chair of the conference had a mesmerizing speech. Now, the chair of the conference doesn't mean the physical object chair is talking. The word chair is used exactly in the tasthya sense to represent the person who was occupying the chair, or the chairperson, or the leader of that sabha, and so on. So he gives exactly this example: manchaha kroshanti. Mancha is a cot or a sofa or a chair or a place to sit. Manchaha kroshanti ityatra, the physical inanimate object is shouting iti arthaha nasti. Mancha shabdena purushaha api vyapadishante. It is a superimposition of the meaning. In exactly the same way, gruha shabdaha veshmani mukhyaha. The primary meaning of the word gruha is the house, but just like how a chair sometimes will also represent a chairperson, in the same way, the house will sometimes or can represent the person who is running the house, which is the wife. So, dareshu to aupacharika. It is an upachara. It is just a way of talking. We have to justify the words that are in the language, and that's why all this effort has been done. It is basically just a way of talking. So, dareshu aupacharika ityartha. So eventually we have now two words. There is a gruham word which is napunsakalinga indicating the house, and this is a grihaha word which is always in the masculine pullinga form and bahuvachana indicating the wife. So he says atra idam avadeyam gruha shabdaha ayam ardharchaditvat ubhayalingaha. There is an Ardharcha Pumsicha Sutra which lists down the words that are in the both lingas. We can actually go to the Sutra Patha and see this is a sutra in 2.4, I think, Ardharcha Pumsicha. This particular sutra lists down the words that are in both the lingas. Ardharcha Dayaha Shabdaha Pumsi Napumsake Cha Bhashyante. And you can see the word Gruha over here. So the word Gruha is in the Ardharchadi Gana, which means it can be used in the masculine form and in the feminine form. And then he makes it clear what meaning is it in the masculine form and what meaning it is in the feminine, napumsakalinga, not feminine, masculine form and neuter form. Tatra napumsakalingaha abhideya vachanaha pullingastu bahuvachananta eva. So if you want to use the griha word in the pullinga, it has to be in the bahuvachana. Grihaha. So gruhaha pumsi cha iti amar koshe api uchyate. So this is basically all attempt of explaining that you have two words gruham and you have gruhaha. The derivation is by the same sutra gehe kaha. So somebody is now, there are multiple questions. Let me take them. So somebody is saying if gruhaha is always in bahuvachanam, does it mean wives in the bahuvachana or a single wife? That's actually a very good question. So the question is this: if the word is gruhaha in the napumsak in the bahuvachana, then does it mean single wife or does it mean many wives? It can mean single wife. So again, the vachana of the word is not to be confused with the cardinality of the objects in the universe. Usually there is a one-on-one mapping. Like if there is a single person, we say balaha. If there are two people, we say balau. If there are many people, we say balaha. So the very fact that the vachana exists in the language is to map to the cardinality of the real world. But these are some of the exceptions. Like even if there is single wife, we say gruhaha. Even if there is single wife, we say daraha. There are some multiple such words which are always in the bahuvachanam, and you have to respect the way they are written in the language, even if in the physical world they would mean a single entity. Okay, the couple of many, not rather many more questions. So somebody is commenting that gruhaha would be housewife. Yeah, that could be a good translation. Instead of just wife, one would say probably housewife because tasthyat is the meaning. So one who prefers staying in the house. ityarthah. Again, please take all this. I don't want to enter any controversy or anything. Please don't take all this in the modern context. We have to put ourselves back in those days where this commentary was written. The Kashika was written more than what I don't know, 1,000 years ago or 800 years ago. So we have to look all these in those particular contexts. There are few more. Gruhastha iti shabda. Somebody is commenting Gruhastha iti shabda. It's completely different. That Gruha is an upapada over there. Stha is the dhatu. We will take a look at it in the next class. Next week. Let's not confuse with the additional information. Somebody is asking, is the dhatu gruhu or graha? So the dhatu is graha upadane. If you can see this, let's go to the dhatu patha. Graha upadane is the dhatu. It's not appearing. This is the dhatu. Graha upadane. That's the dhatu. There is another dhatu. Now that you have asked this, there is actually another dhatu called gruha. Look at this. Gruha grahane. This is another dhatu called gruha. Now, interestingly, this dhatu is igupadha dhatu. So, gruha grahane is an igupadha dhatu. So, by igupadha jna pri kirakaha, it will get a ka pratyaya. Now, as soon as it gets a ka pratyaya, gruha plus ka will become gruha. So, the same word gruha can be generated also by using the ka pratyaya on the gruha dhatu by a normal channel by saying igupada jna pri kirakaha. So gruha, the meaning also there is grahane. So the form for these dhatus are garhate. Atmanepadi asti. So garhate means svikaroti. Exactly the same meaning. So grinhati iti gruham is what we saw earlier. The starting point for that was graha upadane. But if you change the starting point to gruhu grahane, if you make the starting point as gruhu grahane, we will still end up with a ka pratyaya, different sutra, igupada jna pri kirakaha. We will end up with a ka pratyaya. That ka pratyaya will give another word called gruha, or the same word called gruha with exactly the same meaning. So gruhu grahane ityasmat ka pratyayam krutva api gruha iti shabdaha grinhati iti. So the exact vritti over there would be garhate iti. If you go to this gruha dhatu, the pratham purusha ekvachan is garhate. So garhate iti gruham. And if you go to the graha upadhane dhatu, then grinhati iti gruham. And that's exactly the observation by Tattva Bodhini. So look at this first line of Tattva Bodhini. It says, Etat sutram tu shakyam akartum. He says, you don't need this sutram at all. Etat sutram tu shakyam akartum. Kimartham? This sutra is specifically for the graha upadane dhatu and specifically for the gruham as a single word is being derived over here. So why do you want an altogether different sutram for a single word called gruham and for a single dhatu called graha upadani? Rather, you can just take a help of the gruha dhatu which is already there and which can get the ka pratyaya by igupada jna pri kirakaha. So etat sutram tu shakyam akartum gruhu grahane iti bhvadehe. So this is the dhatu in the bhvadi gana. इति भ्वादेः इगुपध लक्षणे क प्रत्यये कृते गृह शब्दस्य सिद्धेः. सो गृहु ग्रहणे इति भ्वादिगणे धातुः अस्ति, इगुपध लक्षणः अस्ति, क प्रत्ययः क्रियते चेत् गृह इति शब्दः तादृशः एव सिद्ध्यति. अतः अत्र ग्रह इति भिन्नं धातुं स्वीकृत्य तत्र पुनः क प्रत्ययार्थं भिन्नस्य सूत्रस्य निर्माणं न आवश्यकम्. एतत् सूत्रं तु शक्यम् अकर्तुम् इति सः वदति. Somebody is saying, is this a napumsakalinga word? Yes, I mean the linga of the word is not defined by the sutras in general. the resultant word is used in the language in the Napumsakalinga. So whether it is generated by the Gruhu Grahane Dhatu or whether it is used by the Graha Upadane Dhatu, it will always be in the Napumsakalinga and in the Pullinga Bahuvachana both. So even with the Gruha Grahane, is the Daraha or the Gruhaha word can still be justified because that Tas Thyat will still be applicable. So that actually completes the discussion of majority aspects of the Ka Pratyaya. We will take one sutram and I think we'll stop today because I wanted to take an Pratyaya also, but we spent a lot of time in the questions. So let's take this one sutra. Let's go slowly. Let's take this one sutra and we'll stop today. So Ka Pratyayanta Nipatanam. This is actually one sutra which was there in the previous section, Krutyaha section, but we omitted it because it was related to the Ka Pratyaya. अतः इदानीं क प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनं यदा प्रचलत् अस्ति तदा अस्य सूत्रस्य चिन्तनं कुर्मः. This sutra does not occur in the Krudanta Prakaranam. It is there all the way in 7.3 when the Nya Pratyaya is being discussed by Panini. He adds this particular Nipatanam. It is a Nipatanam. So Ok Uchaha Ke. Iti sutram asti Ka Pratyayantam Nipatanam Anena Sutrena Uchate. Ucha Samavaye. Iti Divadiganasya Dhatuhu. Ucha Samavaya. Samavaya means to collect together, to bring together, to group, and so on. So Ucha Samavaye Asmad Dhatoho Ka Pratyayam Kurtva Ok iti Shabdaha Nipatyate. So that's what he says. Ok is the Nipatanam. We all know what Nipatanam is. Siddha Prakriya se Nirdeshaha Nipatanam. Uchaha. Sutra is now simple to understand. Uchaha ityukte ucha iti dhatoho ke ityukte ka pratyaya pare ok iti shabdah nipatyate. Ucha samavaye divadihi ityasmad dhatoho ka pratyayam krutva ok iti shabdah nipatyate. The examples given in the commentaries are with the upasarga ni. So we will also take the same example, ni plus ucha plus ka न्योक. So ni plus ok न्योक. Ucha plus ka eventually gives ok. So uchehe dhatoho ke pratyeye okaha nipatyate. Now as soon as we say nipatanam, the first question that should come is kim nipatyate. So why can't the normal prakriya take you there? Why do you need an extra nipatanam? So let's take a look. If you do a normal prakriya over there, first of all, U will not become O. So gunaha tatra nishuddhyate. ककार कित् प्रत्ययः अस्ति अतः किङिति चेति गुणः निषिध्यते अतः उकारस्य ओकारः कथं भवेत्. So we want this u to be converted to o. That's number one, that the nipatana is happening. Number two is there is no way kutvam is going to happen. Kutvam does not happen in front of the ka, in presence of the ka pratyaya. So cha cannot get converted to ka. It will remain cha, giving rise to ochaha or uchaha. We would like to have is okaha. So kutvam is the second thing that is to be given by nipatanam. So kim punarattara nipatyate? Kutvam nipatyate, gunaha cha nipatyate. एतयोः द्वयोः निपातनं कृत्वा ओक इति शब्दः सिद्ध्यति. न्योकः शकुन्तः. Shakunta word has multiple meanings in the language. It means bird. It also means house. There are multiple other meanings as well. Nyokah shakuntah iti arthah. So nyoka word essentially means a bird or a house. Same thing, gruham, as we were discussing on the previous slide. So nyoko gruham, he explains one of the meaning over there. So nyokaha shakuntaha is one meaning. Shakunta means bird. Nyoko gruham is another meaning. Kartari igupadhalakshanaha ka pratyayah. That's exactly what we saw just now. Igupadadnya prikirakaha ittirena ayam igupadhalakshanaha ka pratyayah bhavati. Next part is interesting, but before that, let's look at the Kaumudi. Kaumudi says, Uchehe gunakutve nipatyete. So gunam and kutvam. Gunakutve nipatyete. Okaha shakunta vrushalau. Shakunta is pakshi. Vrushala over here means the Shudra jati. So we had Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya. So that one particular jati that is described in this Varna Vibhajana, that is one another meaning. multiple meanings are there to that particular word. So Kaumudikara gives a few meanings, Kashika gives yet some other meanings. Igupadha lakshanaha kaha. So that's again what we saw earlier. Ucha plus ka will give you ok. Now it turns out that later on we will see in details that there is also a ghai pratyaya that is possible. Let me just take a quick look at this sheet number 10 if I'm not mistaken. So look at this. There is a ghai pratyaya in the Karnadhikarana Yosha. There is a ghai pratyaya which is attached or which can be attached to all the halanta dhatus. Now, what he is saying is that even if you attach this ghai pratyaya for this ucha dhatu, you still get the form oka. When there is a ghai pratyaya, you can still get the kutvam. When there is a ghai pratyaya, you can still get the upadha guna. So actually, ucha plus ghaya will give oka without needing a nipatana. What he is saying over here is adhikaranadau tu karakantare ghai iti pratyayah vidyate. घय प्रत्ययः उच धातोः क्रियते चेत् तत्र गुणः अपि भवितुमर्हति प्रत्यय यकारः अस्ति उपधायां ककारः नास्ति अतः पुगन्तलघुपदस्य चिति गुणः अपि भवितुमर्हति नो चेत् तत्र चजोकु घिण्यतोः इत्यनेन कुत्वम् अपि भवितुमर्हति. So all these there are sutras for that. So why do you take help of nipatanas? Why don't you just give a ghai pratyaya for the ucha dhatu? Or you don't even have to give a ghai pratyaya. Resort to that other ghai pratyaya which is there in sheet number 10. You already have a ghai pratyaya over here. So adhikaranadau karakantare ghai pratyayah asti तथापि अत्र क प्रत्ययस्य विधानं क्रियते. अधिकरणादौ कारकान्तरे घञ् इति प्रत्यय घञर्थे. सो घ इति प्रत्ययः अस्ति परन्तु तथापि क विधानं क प्रत्ययस्य विधानं क्रियते. Understand this point. When the ka pratyay is being added, the prakriya is not simple. We don't have a way to do upadha guna. We don't have a way to do the kutvam. Both of them are given by nipatana. The argument over here is, why do you do all this circus? You already have a ghai pratyaya. The pratyaya is defined, so you don't need a special sutra. That pratyaya will give you kutvam, so no nipatana needed. That pratyaya will bring in upadha guna, so no nipatana needed. So technically you should be using ghai pratyaya, but instead of ghai, you are doing the same thing by giving a ka pratyaya, is the objection that he is putting over here. Adhikaranadau tu karankaantare ghayarthe ka vidhanam किमर्थः पुनः अयम घई एव न व्युत्पद्यते. Why do all this circus? Why not have ghai pratyaya? What is the answer? Swarartham antodattaha ayam ishyate ghai sati adyudattaha syat. See how beautiful, attention to details that Acharya has put, or the detailed swar, the thinking or analysis of the swaras that he has done, and he has put in all those all that information coded in Ashtadhyayi. So he says if the ghai pratyay is attached, then there is a ya which is at the end, which will cause an adyudat tattva by nityadir nityam. So those of you who are not familiar with the swaras, just take this, that because the ya pratyaya is there, a different swara will become udatta. That swara we don't want to be udatta. We want an altogether different swara to be udatta. And therefore, purely for getting the swaras right, he prefers to do a bunch of nipatanas and not do the not use or take the benefit of an already existing ghaya pratyaya. So adhikaranadau tu karakantare ghayarthe ka vidhanam किमर्थम पुनरयम घयेव न व्युत्पद्यते स्वरार्थम अंतोदात्तः अयम इष्यते घई सति आद्यदात्तः स्यात्. We will end up in a wrong form if the ghai pratyay is attached. See how details are being encoded in Ashtadhyayi. One single swara was going wrong, and that's why instead of using an existing pratyaya, he prefers to add a nipatana with a correct pratyaya. Same thing explained by Kaumudi. Ghaya siddhe. Ghai pratyay was giving you the correct answer. Antodattartham ayam prapanchaha. Antodattartham idam nipatanam idam sutra vidhanam. Iti atra ashayah. So somebody is asking, ghaya will cause a vruddhi and not guna. So ghaya will cause a vruddhi on the last letter, achoniti. The yakara does not have anything to do on the upadha ukara. So ata upadhayaha tatha achoniti ittenena upadhayam akaraha asti chet vruddhi bhavati, no chet ante ikvarnaha asti chet vruddhi bhavati. अत्र उच्च धातोः उपधायाम् उकारः अस्ति, तत्र तु पुगन्त लघुपदस्य च. So there is nothing special with ya. The one thing that we need to notice it is a ya, it's not a k, is what I was pointing. K nasti, अतः तत्र गुणस्य बाधा न भवति, अतः गुणः अवश्यं भवति. There is a very interesting question. I don't want to go in the details. Let me read this. Does the meaning remain the same with the different swaras? The answer is no. In this particular, yes, it does. But in general, purely by changing the swaras, the meaning completely changes. In fact, there is this well-known story of some Indra Shatru or something. Some of you might be recollecting it now. I don't. It's there in somewhere explained in the Mahabhasham that Indra Shatru or something. So Indra Shatru can mean two different things. Indraha Shatruhu yasya saha. No chet Indrasya Shatruhu. So there are the Indra Shatru Vadhasva. So somebody is basically saying there is a very well-known sentence called Indra Shatru Vadhasva. Now the word Indra Shatru means two different things. Indrasya Shatru. No chet saha Indraha yaha kasyachit Shatruhu asti. So the word Indra Shatru will mean Indra if it is pronounced in one way, and it will mean the enemy of Indra if it is pronounced in some other way. So purely by swaras, the same word can mean completely different thing. So Indra Shatruhu Vadhaswa or Indra Shatruhu Hanyat or something. If you make such a statement, then basically it would mean Indra will get killed if it's pronounced in a wrong swara, and it would mean, say, the enemy of the Indra would get killed if it's pronounced in the right swara. So swaras matter much more, and that is the reason. It's a very good question actually. That is the reason the swara is not undergoing a nipatana. The swara comes correctly. The nipatana is of the other varna karyas like guna, angakarya, or say kutvam and so on. That is nipatana. He pays more attention that they let the swara be correct. I will do a nipatana of everything else. Oh, somebody is exactly giving the reference. So the story, Twashta performed a yajna to get a son to kill Indra. Because of change in pronunciation, he got a son who will be killed by Indra. The story is in the Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9. Thank you very much. Those of you who, who would like to take a look at it, please refer to this. So yeah, so the whole point was that the swara matters a lot. Here, does it matter a lot? Probably not. Otherwise, I mean, my knowledge of swaras is like next to nothing. So here, does it matter a lot? Probably nothing. Otherwise, commentaries would have talked about it. So that's it. But this is important to notice that he doesn't do a nipatan of the swaras. He does a nipatan of other things and makes the swara correct. Probably telling us that swaras is much more important than other kind of karyas described in Ashtadhyayi. Unfortunately, today we don't pay more attention to swaras. We basically do anga karyas, varna karyas and all that and leave it all the way at the end. Anyway, samapayamaha. I wanted to cover k and n both, but it turns out we have to spend a few more classes. So I don't want this n itself will take one full class. So like at least 1 hour. So let's not jump into the n pratyaya. Adya samapayamaha. So the exercise is actually a mix of k and n today. So I don't expect you to be able to do it today, but let's see. I mean, some of these questions are basically k, some are related to n. You should be able to do this exercise after tomorrow's class. So adhodattasu kavya panktishu vidyamananam ka pratyantanam n pratyanam ta shabdanam siddhim darshayat. You should be able to do it by tomorrow. And sankshepena uttarani likhat. So I think this first four, these things are for the no. So we have not studied them. The last one I think we have studied today. Tattva bodhini karasya matena gehe kaha iti sutram na kriyate ched api na doshaya. Kimartham na doshaya. So he says idam sutram shakyam akartum because there is already a gruha dhatu in the bhwadi gana that can be used. So that's the answer to that question. अस्तु समापयामः. श्वः अस्मिन्नेव समये पुनः वर्गः भविष्यति. श्वस्तनवर्गे ण प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनं शक्यं चेत् अग्रे गत्वा श प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनमपि करिष्यामः। अष्टाध्यायी जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। शब्दब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्यो विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। धन्यवाद।